So then we'll just go ahead with this, and how can we? Yeah, because recently Spotify came to Sri Lanka, and like I felt like we felt like we need to do something in terms of audio, like podcast or something. So I put forward my
Yeah, and
suggestion.
he dragged me into this. So yeah.
Yeah. So for people that who don't know who we are, my name is Nilanka, and Chandika, you can.
Yeah, Chandika. So
Like
yeah, we both met at. Should I? Okay, we both met. So
yeah,
this is gonna be a bit awkward sometimes because we are doing this we are doing this online. We are doing this through Zoom. So
yeah.
there might be delays. There might be
Oh
we might
shit,
interrupt
yes,
each other
yes.
accidentally. So let's not. So yeah, we are still in the work. So let's see how
Hmm.
that goes. So yeah, we both met at uni and sort of had fun at uni, especially with Isaac,
Yeah.
and
And
that's where we sort of met and
we kind of
sort
sort
of
of
we were
like we were out of, like, how to say, out of touch, let's say, for about a couple of years, because I wasn't
yeah,
I was, let's say, I was
because
busy.
he left us in Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
and he was in Sweden having fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But now I'm back in
uh,
Sri Lanka. Maybe I don't know for how long, but like I'm back here. And anyway, like starting this kind of a podcast. And Chantika also had this idea of doing something on YouTube. So he was my first
mhm.
point of touch. Like I initially remembered him when I thought of doing something like this. So we had this discussion a couple of weeks ago, or like a week ago, right? Just a week ago, I think.
Yeah, I think yeah, just
Yeah,
for more like a week. Yeah,
just a week ago. And yeah, so we built some kind of topics that we're going to talk about today. It's this podcast. We haven't put a name yet. Probably when the video is going out, we'll have a name by that time. So
yeah. Hopefully, that's hope
yeah.
it's we can figure something out for
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
so there's nothing prepared. This is like this is the pilot episode, so we have absolutely nothing prepared in terms of the name of the podcast and the logo.
All we do is have a bunch of topics that we think we want to talk about. That's about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. So
And yeah, let's see how this goes.
we'll see how this goes, and probably around the second episode we'll have something much more solid background about this. Anyway, so
Yeah.
in the podcast in itself, we thought we would be talking about several topics, generally around things that are happening around the world and Sri Lanka right now. So we shortlisted some stuff in the week before, and then I don't know how much topics we're going to be able to talk about today, and we are trying to keep our podcast to 30 to 45 minutes, maybe. We'll see how it goes. The first one, since we don't know like how it will go out. So we will start then, Chandika. We can start with one of the topic one topic that you brought up. Like what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. I had a few topics in mind. Um, I mean, we can talk about the fact. I mean, probably something that everyone can relate to. I guess is that everyone is working from home these days, right?
Mm.
uh, these days being that they've been working from home for about a year now, about a year.
Yeah. Almost
Yeah,
more than
so
yeah,
it's been
almost.
about a year. Yeah, but yeah, more than it depends on where you so I think Sri Lanka went into lockdown somewhere around I think
March.
third, yeah, somewhere on March, right? So second week or third week of March.
Mm-mm.
So that was like full lockdown. So I mean, first week of lockdown was like hectic. Like everyone was like trying scrambling to see how are they going to sort out the supplies for the home
Yeah.
and all that, right? So it was a mess.
Toilet
Uh,
paper was a
yeah,
mess.
so yeah, the toilet paper thing, man. I don't know. Like we didn't have that issue here.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably, I mean, I didn't. It was not a massive issue. I did see. So when I got a chance to go, toilet paper wasn't there, but I mean, it wouldn't have been as much of an issue because we are we use water,
yeah. Of course, of course.
right, instead of toilet. toilet paper. So, so, that's probably some of the Western countries that you've seen that. A main issue was, I think, we had to stop all like imports and all that, so
Ah,
we
yeah,
had
yeah.
to sort of survive on uh, like salmon, tin. So tin.
Oh,
When I say
yes.
salmon, it's tinned salmon, and dal and rice. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine, right? It's
Nothing
something kept
serious
going. But
happened,
I
as
think
in, wasn't there any massive shortages or something? I
no,
wasn't
no,
exactly
I
aware.
don't know. No, like generally, so there were like
Turmeric. There was some. That was recent, right? The problem with turmeric,
yeah,
was it recent?
turmeric. There was a ban in importing turmeric. So turmeric is actually considered very illegal now. You can't. I
Oh.
mean, it's as versus if you're caught with imported turmeric, you go to jail. I mean,
Okay.
it's that
Okay.
bad.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, it's been good in a way as well, right? I mean, the farmers here, and I mean, even my mother is growing turmeric.
Okay. Yeah,
In and she lives in the city, right?
we
So she's got like a
is
small pot.
we haven't been growing it, but we got this like like the fresh turmeric. We dried it at home, and then we made powder. It's super cheap and it's very high quality compared to
Yeah,
the stuff that we've been
exactly,
getting
exactly, exactly,
from shops. And yeah, we are kind of
exactly.
drifting away from the topic. So work from home.
Yeah. So yeah, it's work. So it's not talking about turmeric. Yeah, anyway. So uh, yeah, so working from home. So I think when it started off, before it started, let me talk about before people wanted to like before all this came into play. There were proposals in the company I used to work at to sort of have this working from home option, right?
Mm.
But people, the management was scared because it's a new thing. How are we gonna sort of have a certain set of controls in place? Because
Mm.
you're not at the office environment, you're at home. What's the operating structure going to be? So many things, right?
Yeah, yeah,
uh, I think all that, when you're forced to work at home, when that's the only option, I think the company sort of figured out some ways
mm.
to sort of do that tracking and make sure that you get the work done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
uh, it was good at first. Working from home, we were like, okay, it's chilled out, we are at home, like, we can do
Yeah.
whatever we want, all that. But I think the current consensus is that it's just my personal opinion. I've talked to a few friends. So I actually posted this meme I found somewhere. It's
Mhm.
about uh, there is no work-life balance now because we
Ah,
are
yeah.
all working from
Yes,
home.
yes.
It's like all work, right? I think you would have seen that.
This is the biggest complaint that I've heard from a lot of people working from home in Sri Lanka. Like because
Yeah,
like it's
there is no balance, right? So the thing there is, when you're at office, you go there at, let's say, 9 in the morning, and even if you work late, you're done, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah,
done
yeah,
at whatever that time is, right? And of course, you don't work late very all the time, depending on what the job is. Um, it's done after the office. It's done. You don't get any calls and all that. But when you're at home, that boundary sort of disappears, and it's
yeah.
sort of like
Mm.
you're constantly working. They might even set up meetings during weekends or even like
Mm-hmm.
public holidays and all that, right? So that can be annoying, right? So that's the flip side of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because people, when you're working from home, they can get their daily work done and all that, right? So
Mm-hmm.
uh, that advantage is there, but also the flip side, uh, your brown boundaries are lost.
Yeah, like
That's
because
that's
what
this
I've
that's
been
just my
hearing
take.
from people here, like some people that I've talked to, is that again, like they are being given work like whenever the company thinks is okay. You know,
Exactly.
there's no time boundaries for
There's no
people.
limit to it. It's just like,
Yeah, yeah,
work,
yeah,
work,
yeah, yeah.
work, all that. So either you have to say no, or you have to say no and say, okay, I'm done. I'm logging off at 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't call
yeah,
me, or not answer calls. You have to set that discipline, or
yeah, yeah.
uh, I don't know. It's.
This,
I
this,
think I
it,
think continuously going for either one doesn't really make sense. You might need to have a mix going forward,
mm,
where you maybe allowed to work on some days of the month, work from home.
yeah,
You're allowed to. allowed to, in the sense you're if you don't have to take it, but if you need to, you can take it and work from home
This is something
and
that I
something like
that I
that.
did when I was working with Isaac in Sweden. So like for the team, I
Right.
gave them like we like when we were working in the office, obviously we gave like I gave them like one work from home day. So it's like
Oh,
they
okay.
stay at home and like it's like they do the work normally. If there's a meeting, they join the meeting from home.
Right.
Basically,
Right.
like for us, we were
So
living in the same house essentially. But so, it's but anyway,
no,
we
but I think that's a good idea, right? I mean, because it's like this. The what matters is sometimes okay. Um, Sometimes the work that you need to get done, right, is very small, right? It might be
yeah
going
yeah
to the bank, which is going to take like maximum 2 hours, right?
yeah yeah
You don't necessarily have to put a half day for that,
yeah.
right? I mean, putting a half days. I mean, you're
Point
additionally
yeah
you're taking it doesn't really make
yeah
sense, right? So you're taking 2 hours additional, and the company is also losing 2 hours additionally, right? So
yeah
that's there
Mhm.
for both the sides. So on a day like that, if you're like, okay, can we work from home, and you can probably manage that, I guess. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't be saying stuff like that.
No,
I
no.
mean, you
I
should be
mean,
working at home, right? Not going to the
no.
bank.
The thing is, it's like well, hopefully, like I don't know
Okay, maybe not. Maybe
which
going to
audience
the
will see
maybe going
this,
to the
but
bank is probably the bad example. Yeah, hopefully my boss doesn't see this. Uh, I mean, like, probably I use the wrong example, right? So I uh, probably, I mean, if you have something to do at home, right? I mean, probably clean your home or something like that, right? You still can do that while working from home. That's dependent on the job, of course, right? It it can't be done across all jobs, right? So it's not practical to do. I mean, if if it's like someone who is I mean, of course, factory
mm,
workers can't work from home. That doesn't really make sense.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm mainly talking about shop and office
yeah, yeah.
people
Mhm.
who are working from offices. Even then, there might be limitations. So let's say if you're someone who needs to sort of be on the computers
Mm,
all the time. Let's say if you're like at a help desk and you need to sort of, when it's a customer calls in, you need to log into their systems and just have
mhm,
a look around and fix something. I mean, you need to be online. You can't just be on the call, right? But
mhm,
maybe like for people like project managers, even managers, um, where some like a portion of their time, a good chunk of their time is spent on meetings and sort of
yeah, 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 yeah.
delegation and sort of managing people. I think they can do it. Uh, Probably not across all
Yeah,
job
yeah,
types.
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Like, yeah, like this is the thing. Like, what I was telling regarding the thing that like the work from home day. Initially, it was like what we did, but we sort of shifted. Like, it depends again on the job. We kind of made it like work out of office day because some people prefer to go to, let's say, a cafe or like I don't know,
Right.
some random place that they'll feel free
Mm-hmm.
from this office environment. I
Like
guess.
it's like a change of environment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Like a
yeah,
change of
yeah.
environment. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
work from home was actually pretty well implemented in Sweden, like in offices, let's say, because they don't have these expectations of working outside of the working hours. So some people I've
Right.
noticed,
Yeah.
like there was this some people that I noticed, they put like how to say email notices as well, like after, let's say, 6 p.m. they have a autoresponder saying, I'm out of office now, please contact me
Right.
after this time tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
that's a yeah. I mean, that's probably we should, that's probably a bit of passive aggressive way to say it, but yeah, still that's I mean, you need to do it sometime if you have to do it,
yeah,
right?
some
If
people do this, yeah. But like generally, they in Sweden generally, like even if it's work like in office or work from home, they generally, how to say, give respect to the working hours, and they don't, either they don't
right.
start earlier or they don't work later. So most of the time it's like that there.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand, like
Right.
here it's a different story because the working culture is different in Sri Lanka. So
Yeah.
a
So
lot
I
of
mean, it's about trust, right? In the end, it's
yeah,
about
yeah,
trust,
yeah.
right? So the employee needs to make sure that they don't break the trust of the employer, and
Mm.
so on and so forth, right? So that understanding, once that understanding is established, I think that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the main thing that needs to happen, right?
Because some
Um,
companies have like very intense tracking programs for people sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. I've heard. I
it's
mean, they need
it's
to
it
be on the computer, and they have like
yeah,
cameras on and stuff like that. I mean,
screenshots,
that's just
yeah, keys recorded sometimes. There are stuff like that.
Yes, keystrokes. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's just too much. That's like you're like a surveillance state.
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
spy on your. I mean that's. I would be stressed out working for that whoever whatever that company is. But yeah, that's going too far in one way, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you should have some control as well. I mean, you can't just be like, okay, you can go and do whatever you want, right? You need to have some control. So the one control that we sort of put in is you need to be reachable on Teams anytime
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
working from home, anytime in the sense within the working hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your icon needs to say online, right?
Oh.
So that's it, right? So as
Mm-hmm.
long as whether you're on the phone or whether you're on the laptop, it doesn't really matter, but you need to be reachable, right?
Okay. Yeah,
So
makes sense.
uh, that makes sense. And if you're given a call, you need to be able to answer. If you miss the call, you need to get back to it on a within a few minutes. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you're at a meeting, just drop a text or something like that. So not. I mean, you don't need like a system to do that sort of thing, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
need
Mm-hmm.
like have a control infrastructure, and you can just do it as it is. But
So, do you have any suggestions? I don't know, like if there are people who are planning to implement work from home, like more solidly in the
yeah,
future.
I'm not an HR consultant,
No, no, no. But
but
generally, like from your experience from working from home,
so
what are the
from
things that people
my
should avoid, and what are the things that people should continue in Sri Lanka? Things that have been happening from from your experience. Because I haven't been working
well, I
technically
think I
working in the
think it
last few months, so I don't know about this anymore that much.
right. So yeah. Well, I think okay. I'll talk from the employee side, right? So the employee needs to have, if you're working from home, you need to have a stable internet connection,
Mm.
right? I mean,
Yes.
that's a must, right?
Yes.
uh if if you can't if you don't have access to it, I mean, if maybe you're living in a rural area, I mean, you should let your company know, because I mean, they can either help you get a stable connection or something like that. But
Mm.
I mean, that's a must in any work from home situation, right? Because if you're on if you connect for a meeting, and like if the connection keeps dropping and you need to reconnect, and if it's not clear what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're saying and all that, I mean, that's just going to drag the meeting, right? That's not going to be productive at all. Rather not rather we I mean, we shouldn't have the meeting then, if
Mm.
not. But I mean, in the case UK, if you can join in from a call or something, that's still fine. But I mean, there needs to be a way to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
connect with the team, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to have a good internet connection, but essentially what I'm saying is, for those situations where you need to connect with your team, you need to be able to connect with them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean,
Yeah. Properly.
pretty well,
Yeah.
properly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was looking for. Um, I mean, that's mainly from the employee side, right? I mean, that's
Mm.
that's that's like number one. Uh, and of course, I mean, it's like this, right? I mean, people do stuff while they're working from home, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
I don't think you can prevent that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very hard, especially in Sri Lanka, right? It's not going to work. But if someone is reaching out to you, you need to be able to respond to it,
yeah, yeah,
right? That's a must if you're working from home, right? Uh, that's probably a must as well. I mean, do like I said, probably banking example is wrong, but I mean, if you're at the bank for some reason, right?
yeah.
If someone calls, you need to be able to answer, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you need to manage that. Because I mean, it, in the end, like, I don't know, it depends. Uh, you put in controls so that the work gets done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So the work needs to get done.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole outcome, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're putting controls just for the sake of putting controls, that doesn't really make sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need to put in the controls so that the work gets done. So
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long
yeah.
as the work gets done, right, on time. So that's a key factor, on time. Uh, I think I think that's the thing. And the employee is responsible. There's a responsibility part on the employee side as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
From the employer side, I mean, the first thing I mentioned is, I mean, have a set time, right? If that set time is going to be exceeded, probably let the guys know.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times that we work late. That's true, but it's not good to work late all the time, right? Even that's applicable even in a day to day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you're going to the office, right? So if you're working late all the time, then there's something wrong. I mean, either you don't have enough employees, or your plan. I mean, you don't have enough employees for the workload that you have,
Mhm.
or maybe there's some other inefficiency, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so yeah, just a few thoughts, right? I just some things that, I mean, that actually that meme I know memes aren't supposed
Yeah.
to, they're just supposed to be funny, and you shouldn't really think too much about them, but that actually that thing got me actually thinking, right? I mean, what should be done about this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most people are ready to get back to office. I think
Mhm.
there's another element as well, right? So when you're at home, you're with the same people for a really long time, right?
Yeah,
I mean, no matter how much you love them, it's there is a limit. Yeah, so don't. Yeah, so
yeah.
why sleeping? So yeah, she won't hear me.
Okay.
I mean, you need that time, right? So I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
going to office is not just
Yeah,
for
yeah,
work,
yeah.
right? You
That
have
makes
that
sense.
companionship
That is true
element as
actually.
well.
Like because this is one of the reasons that say like if you how to say if you live plus work with the same people, it gets it gets very monotonous and tedious at times. So it's
Mm,
like
mm.
this how to say two having two separate sides is actually good for your mind as well.
Yeah, exactly. So like even if you're working from home, I mean, you should work somewhere else,
Hmm.
I mean, like, you should work somewhere else, and you can probably sleep and eat or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
somewhere else. You should have a designated place to work.
yeah,
Otherwise, I mean, that also, you're like,
yeah.
if you're working from the bed, I don't know,
Yeah,
I can't do that.
yes,
Maybe some
yes,
people
yes,
can.
yes. I get
That
it, get
doesn't
it.
work for
Like
me,
you should
right?
have like at least like a table specified, like an area to
Mm,
work,
mm.
or a separate room to work if you can have that.
Yeah, but it's like this, right? So that depends on the person. So I've seen my brother. He constant. I shouldn't probably be saying this, but
You
yeah,
can't, you don't have to
I mean,
tell the names, but yeah.
he's working, but he's working, but they're not. He's on his bed, but yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, some people might be able to do it.
Some people can do it. Some
Yeah,
people can do it. Yeah. Even
yeah.
for me, I have a limit. I can work on my bed for some time, but I have this limit. After that, okay,
Hmm.
I need to shift this because
You need to get up and
yeah.
sort of have a designated place to work.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
I
Yeah, I
guess
mean,
we've been
that's
we've been on this topic for a long time now. Like we'll
how
move
long
on.
has it been?
I think we're talking for about 20 minutes or more. I think I can't see
Wow. Okay.
yeah the exact
Is there
time.
isn't there a time on this? Let me check. Oh no, there is no time
No, no, there's no.
on this. Right. Wow. Okay.
We
So
can
Nilanka,
go.
I think you have something.
Yeah,
You your turn.
yeah we can go to another topic. Like this is something that I know you also have an insight on. That's why I put this topic there. Like regarding the like vehicles going electric and like this idea of EU pushing for full electric vehicles by 2030. I think it's in their what do you say goals to have
Mm.
fully electric vehicles by 2030, and many other countries as well, not just EU. I think China is also pushing
Oh right. So that's a
similar
EU
agenda.
goal. That's a EU goal.
That is an EU goal, as far as I know. China is
So
also
EU
pushing an
goal
agenda.
2030 all electric vehicles.
Yes, let
Wow.
me
Okay.
let me let me check like a
Uh,
website and just to make sure. But this is what I've seen on an article. And
so
China
yeah,
is
while you
also
check, I
pushing the
think
same. Hmm?
it's like this, right? So yeah, I think there's a bit of a data as well. I mean, going electric is fine. I mean, fine in sense it's probably where all the vehicles are headed, the future vehicles at least. So even in that market, there's still, I mean, you see, battery electric is probably leading the game, but some companies still seem to be holding on to like hydrogen tech and all this
Hmm.
stuff, right? So uh, probably maybe battery tech doesn't suit all sorts of vehicles. Maybe sometimes hydrogen might be used in more industrial applications,
Hmm.
depending on what it is, right?
Okay.
So maybe like all these trucks and all that stuff.
Like the reason that I put
So
this topic up was I
yeah, so
saw regarding Volvo saying that they will go full electric by 2030, and another article saying Ford is also pushing to be
right.
all electric by 2030. So this is probably because of
Mm-hmm.
Europe regulations, because like they one of their that's definitely one of their biggest markets, and if
Biggest
they can't
markets, yeah.
cater to that, they won't have proper sales around the world anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I
So,
think
but, I mean, right. That's good. I think it will push the markets as well.
yeah,
Push the markets.
the problem that they are talking about
Sorry,
is
when you say
regarding
push the
the
suppliers as well.
the problem that they're discussing is regarding the charging network, which is the biggest problem for most countries at the
Mm-hmm.
moment.
So what I'll tell you is, let Tesla come in, establish the charging network, and rent it from there. I mean, that's the only way, right?
Mm.
Otherwise, you're gonna have. So, I read this. Uh, did I read or was I can't remember. So there's this channel, uh, Fully Charged. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I'm
It's
not
a
following
UK
now.
based channel. It's I can't remember the guy who does it. Some Robert, someone. So I mean, there are so many networks there in the UK,
Mm.
right? I, there's like a few big ones, and I mean, okay, even in Sri Lanka we have about 3 or 4 different networks,
Oh.
right, of charging infrastructure. So there's ChargeNet, there's Green Frontiers,
Mm.
there's one run by SL, not sure what it is called, and there's a CEB has their own network where they have in their sort of power stations and all they have a charger there as well. So I mean in Sri Lanka, which is not a massive EV market, we probably have less than
Yeah.
1%
Mm.
EVs, right? There are 4 charging networks,
But,
right?
but Sri
I
Lanka
mean
is relatively a smaller country as well. So when it comes to distance driving, so
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So I mean that all that being the case, we have like 4 or 5. I'm not sure whether it is 5, but yeah, at least 4 different charging networks. Uh, I mean we need to solve. I think that's one problem that's still not solved. So charging and battery, right? So
mm.
that needs to be solved. So I think the what people are looking at is solid state batteries and all that. That's probably the future,
Mm.
can retain more capacity, and it's I think, and even if it gets damaged, it doesn't blow up like the current
Mm.
lithium ion ones. So it's safe as well, and I think it's reusable. I'm not sure. Let's not go there. I don't want to say any wrong information, but roughly that's if
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
looking, that's where it's headed, right? Solid state
Yeah,
batteries.
because I
But
think yeah, like battery tech is where every electric product is like limited right now. Even mobile
yeah,
phones and
exactly,
cars, it's
exactly,
the charging capacity plus like how long the charge can sustain. Like this is the biggest question for most electric products
exactly.
right now.
Also, the other thing is like we're talking about battery tech, right? So I mean, you need to improve your battery tech as well as make everything else efficient as well, right?
Mm.
I mean, look at if you take the current market, why? I mean, I see every other month there's like a headline saying, okay, some X car company has come up with a electric car. Is it going to
Mm.
be a Tesla killer, right?
No, no, no.
It's not going to be a Tesla killer for a while because Tesla is like so far ahead with their range
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
the efficiency. It's very hard to catch up to them,
Like
right?
another example that I can give is like not a car, but like in terms of devices, like the MacBook Pro and iPhone is like this device where they
Yeah,
optimize everything inside the device to the maximum level.
exactly.
Like they every single
That's
piece is
the same thing.
done by them. Yeah.
That's the same thing I had in mind, right? So I mean, like just to take that example, right? I mean, they Apple released the new M1 MacBooks, right? So they have a
Oh,
very efficient
yes.
processor now. I mean, that processor, they haven't changed anything else. It's just the processor and sort of the maybe a bit of the motherboard that they have changed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting like much better battery life than the Intel ones, right?
Yes.
So I mean, you can it's a two I mean two pronged attack, right? I mean, you need to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at the battery side as well as how to make things more efficient as well, right? To use that limited power. So I think what Tesla does is their cars are very aerodynamic. I mean, lightweight, and all that, right? So and make sure that that whole powertrain is very efficient and there's no and minimum energy loss, maximum energy regeneration through the brakes and all that. So yeah, it's the whole package, right? You can't just look at one part and try to improve it.
Like the question that I have in my mind is like with Volvo and let's say Ford going fully electric, how like will we see like more bigger car product like companies going electric? Like another thing that I forgot to mention was even in China, this is something that I was going to mention. Like they have their, I think, public transportation network, like the buses. It's fully electric now, as far as I know, and they are also
Oh,
one of the
is it?
biggest.
Oh, okay.
They are also one of the like they're probably the biggest market for Tesla cars around the world as well.
Yeah, they are. So China, why they went electric is like China had a reason, right? They were suffering. I mean, they tried this whole. I think you've heard about the smog
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Chinese cities and all that, right? So that was a massive problem for them. So how they tried to manage it was they would only allow certain cars out on a certain day. So I think it was
Oh.
in the license plate. If your last number was an odd number, you're only allowed to go in the car in like Monday, Wednesday,
Wow.
Friday,
Okay.
and something like that. So something some sort of rule like that, right? So that's how they try to control it. And in order for you to buy a car, there's like a massive process of getting a license and something like that, right? So I mean that still with all those rules, people bought cars and they couldn't really enforce those rules, right? I mean, if there are like 1 million cars on the road, I mean, how are the police going to catch all the guys who are breaking, breaking the rules? I mean, probably you can do all these surveillance and try to catch
Yeah,
them,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not really
China,
practical,
it's
right?
China. Yeah.
So it's China, right? But still, I mean, with all that, I mean, they thought, I mean, they were like, okay, no, screw this. We are gonna go electric because that's gonna cut the pollution by I don't know how much percent, and that's probably what they're doing now. So they are chasing the electric car. Uh, I mean,
Yeah.
that's probably where it's headed, and also they have another ambition as well. So if they sort of crack that, they can sell it to other. They can sell it to the world essentially, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. This is
Right.
like
So
China
because
and
that's
EU are
where the world is headed
this,
as well.
it's the same scenario, right? China is a big market, EU itself is a big market, and when both of these two
Exactly.
markets are saying, okay, we are going electric, that's how it's like others have no alternative, kind of.
Exactly. So I think Tesla is in China as well. Sorry,
Yeah.
in India as well.
India, like a plant, I'm not sure. Maybe.
I think recently they moved it, right? I'm not sure. Let
Like
me.
I'll check
Uh,
after the video, and if there's any article, I'll put it on the screen when I'm.
right, sure. I saw something like that. Because uh, I mean that's good, right? So because India is
Yeah.
another massive market, which
Like
could
if India goes fully electric, it'll take some time compared to other countries. But
take some time, right?
if it goes fully electric, then like it'll take less time for us to go fully electric in Sri Lanka, I feel,
Yeah. So, but
compared to.
I think it's like this, Nilanka. So what I've noticed is, like technology wise, okay. I mean, even like things like, I think since we're a smaller country, right? It's easy for us to like sort of implement things to the
Yeah,
whole country, right? So even
if we
so,
want.
for example, my example is like take 4G for example, right? So 4G was we had a much better coverage. I mean, not area wise, but accessibility wise per capita wise, right? Uh, here before India did,
Okay,
right?
okay, I didn't know this.
That's because it's easy for us to bring it down and implement it, right? We don't
Yeah,
have a massive population. There is no, significantly less costs compared to India and all that, right? So I think we can do the same with electric vehicles if we try. I mean, there are certain ventures, sort of electric based ventures coming in from Sri Lanka. I'm sure you've seen the Vega sports car.
yeah, I've seen.
Um, yeah, so that's one. And there's a electric uh, bicycle. called Roda. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't. This is the first time I think. Is
It looks, the tires are a bit massive. It looks. I mean, it's very distinct, right?
okay,
It's a
okay.
bit. Some design is a bit.
Is it out?
Is polarizing
Is
design.
it available? Like people can buy
I
it right now?
I don't think you can buy it, but there was a round of pre-orders that went about 6 or 7 months back.
Okay,
Uh, so yeah, I mean it took sense. So it costs about, I think, 100,000 plus.
okay, LKR.
So they have like 3 models of it and something like that. I mean, but that's still good, right? I mean, people are
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that
yeah.
here. That's, I mean, for a small country like us where we don't have uh, to go like massive distances. So,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you want to go to Jaffna, it's just 500 kilometers, right? So that's
Mm.
nothing compared to the
Yeah,
global scale, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
nothing. That's not even a distance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like this is why a lot of people are complaining. Like when I saw this post on Reddit regarding this EU, like regarding Volvo going electric, there's a lot of people complaining. I think mostly they were from the USA because
Mm.
it's a massive
Dude,
country.
US is massive. It's massive.
Yeah,
So there are like so many states in the US that are much 3-4 times larger than Sri Lanka,
of
right?
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean that's, I mean,
Yeah,
US to be complaining about it, I think it
yeah,
makes
it
sense.
makes
But
sense. It makes
maybe,
sense.
yeah, yeah,
It's just like they have a lot of very huge driveways, right? Like and like they
yeah,
travel like most people travel by vehicle and they travel sometimes
exactly.
thousand
So
two
they, I
thousand
think,
kilometers.
yeah. So the US, I mean, US is sort of like a car first sort of country. I mean, you
Mm,
need a car to get around,
yeah,
right? Unfortunately, I don't know. Fortunately or unfortunately, that's the way, right? I mean,
yeah.
their
It's they
public
have their own
transport is
issues.
not the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they have their own issues. So let's not talk about that now.
Yeah,
Uh, save the topics. We need to save the topics.
yeah, yeah. That's a different topic. Let's get to it later.
That's a different topic. Uh, but yeah, I think, yeah, electric is the future. So it's going to be like, I mean, not that I don't like, I mean, ice cars, right? I mean,
Yeah,
ice cars
yeah,
are
yeah.
really, they are pretty, I mean, they're fun to drive. You have that sound and all that, right? And it's cool to drive, but I mean,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
electric cars are going to be functional. I mean, it's going to, you know, for
It
daily
it
use,
like generally for me,
makes sense.
I'm a tech enthusiast, and for me it feels it's a piece of tech. You know, it's not like
Right.
it's not a car for it's not a vehicle for me. Like when I think of an
It's
electric
like a piece
vehicle.
of tech. So
Yes.
that's the thing. That's the other thing. Like, so I think most of the new cars are going to be uh, geared towards, sort of self. They're going to be sort of, they have like a self-driving feature,
Mm.
because uh, most of the people, I mean, most of the youngsters, I don't know what you call them these days. Oh my God, I sound so old.
Gen Z.
Gen Z guys, yeah, though they are not preferring to drive.
No, even I don't prefer to
The
drive.
driving license, I mean, I think this is the UK statistic, if I'm not mistaken. You can probably check that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it has gone down significantly,
Hmm.
the amount of people
People.
who apply for driving licenses. uh, Sri Lanka is probably still there.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
like
think,
I think in most European countries in general, they have a very good public transportation system, and then that makes
exactly. I mean,
driving
you don't need to drive, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, driving, it's like this, right? So electric cars is, I mean, it'll solve the pollution to some level, right?
yeah.
But uh,
There is a
you
downside on
still,
electric as well, right? Like
if
there
you
are big,
if you start buying electric cars like you're buying ice cars right now, I mean, if the consumption doesn't go down, your impact to the environment is not really
gonna
going to
change.
change much, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's just my opinion. I
But
don't
it
know.
depends on
But
how it depends on how like it depends on two things, right? Like it depends on one how you make the energy that charges the car. That's one.
true,
Number two
true. And
is
how you
how
make
you
the car,
make the car slash batteries. Yeah. So yeah,
the car slash batteries, exactly.
yeah. So I think
Yeah,
number one can be changed if people want to, if like people governments want to, like the way energy is made can be changed quicker
that can be changed. But
than
yeah,
the technology behind cars and like everything.
right. So, but I mean, there are limitations that as well, right? Because most of the renewable energy solutions, I mean, they're good, but I mean, let's say if there are like emergency requirements and all that, you can't really. It's not. It is. You can't react fast. I
Yeah,
mean, solar is you have to depend on the sun, right? I mean, you don't have control
yeah,
over that,
yeah, yeah.
right? So either you need to work out your energy storage solution,
Mm.
or I mean,
Even
maybe increase the efficiency of solar or something like that. I don't know.
like even though people are phasing out like this, I think nuclear energy is the at the moment. I saw some videos as well. It's the most efficient, right, in terms of
Yes, yes.
energy production. It is still cleaner than like fossil fuel.
It's cleaner. So it's only not cleaner than wind. I think wind is the only thing cleaner than nuclear.
Okay,
I yeah. We
but
we
still,
should source these stuff,
but
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, people will think we are lying to them.
Yeah, like let's put some statistics slash links, like as much as I can. Like I'll put some articles over the video when I'm discussing these things, so people can actually check them out as well if I find. but
Yeah, so I think that wind thing, I saw it in the video.
Sweden
I
is
think I
phasing
didn't
out
find that video.
nuclear energy. They are phasing out
Right.
nuclear energy, but I don't know whether they should
Mhm.
be doing it this soon.
So the thing is, nuclear energy is not is profit. It's not profitable. So there is a danger as well. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah,
you
of
how you
course.
get rid of the pollution and all that as well.
Mm.
But it's not profitable as well. I mean, there was a again we get
Yeah,
our
like
knowledge from YouTube.
yeah, let's go and see. But anyway, it's okay.
So yeah, it's not profitable apparently. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe thorium
But like
reactors might be profitable, but
in
I don't know.
Sweden, like as far as I know, they make energy mainly by two ways. One is nuclear, then the other one is
Mhm.
by burning like trash. This is one big source of energy in Sweden.
Oh,
Burning trash. They
okay.
they
Wow.
apparently import trash from other countries to burn. So this is also something that they do. Yeah,
Okay, maybe we should send all the trash coming out of our
yeah. So
rivers
they apparently
to
import
Sweden.
trash, and then they have some like renewable like solar, wind, but it's far less than the other two, as far as I know.
Right. So I think yeah, I think Sweden is too far up north to maybe have a massive solar
Yeah, probably.
power plant and stuff like that. But I mean, dude, Sri Lanka can like,
Yes, it's like
dude, we are like there's no other country more perfectly positioned.
yes. I don't know whether it was you that I had this conversation with regarding solar farms in the sea. You can have this like or like
Yeah.
this is something that people need to think about. They are building wind, like a wind, like what do you call these things?
Wind
Uh,
farms.
yes, wind farms. They are building wind farms. As far as I remember, there was recently a news saying they are picking few. No, this was the controversial issue with right. Like they are giving few companies in India to build wind farms in some islands in Sri Lanka. Again, okay,
Oh yeah, in the north
north,
and the
somewhere in the north.
northwest, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in the
Right.
northwest. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Oh.
So similarly, you can definitely do solar as well. It's not. It's not.
So solar. No, currently solar is like it's just it still takes space for solar, right? I mean, you need to clear forests and do stuff like that, right? But I mean, you
Buildings.
can easily integrate it into the roofs of buildings
Yes,
and have like a microgrid and do
yes.
all
Like
that. I mean,
if
we have the potential to do that, right?
if they invest, it's like that. That's the problem. Like there's less people who willingly invest in these kind of projects, because if they invest in terms of an ownership and they put the solar panels in most of the buildings in Colombo, then Colombo you could
Hmm.
have a lot of power generated at least in Colombo.
Right. So yeah, exactly right. I mean, if you just cover all the roofs of the buildings in Colombo, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to generate quite a bit of power.
Exactly.
So the thing is that's going to be your main supplement, right? So how you're going to reduce pollution is not probably by removing all the coal plants. It's probably by reducing them first, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense to just
Like
close down
from
plants without a backup
yeah,
plan.
it's like we are
Yeah.
barely surviving with the number of electric plants here in Sri Lanka now. Like the coal plants,
Right.
if you
Yeah.
shut down the coal plants, I don't think no, I don't think we can
No, I don't
survive at the moment. No,
think we'll have enough
Like
power from
Noricchol
up
is
here.
the
Yeah.
biggest coal plant, right? And if it goes down,
Yeah.
there's no power to majority parts of the country.
Yeah, yeah. That it is.
I think we can sort of I don't think we have enough time to go to another
Yeah, I
topic
think we
where,
shouldn't talk about too many things, right?
yeah. Anyway, like I think
Yeah.
we sort of
Do
we
we
went.
you do we have enough time or don't we have?
It's almost like how do you say, went over
No.
40 we went over 45 minutes, I think. I think, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Check the time, and I don't know
So
whether,
let's probably stop it before Zoom starts us down.
yeah. Anyway, then we will get into, like, since this is the pilot episode, we have these two topics which we discussed, and we will have, how to say, more preparation in terms of how to say, links and content. But I think at the end, it's mostly the final editing, since we have to put these things overlay on the video. We'll put some of the description slash links, or like pages that we took the information from in when you guys are checking this video online. But the audio will go into different sources. So for audio only people, unfortunately, you might have to go to YouTube to check the how do you say, sources of what we are
Yeah.
telling things from. Um, then we'll end this first pilot episode from this point, and then probably see
Yeah.
everyone, like,
Just
in a couple of days,
probably in a couple
in
of
a,
days. Yeah. Let's
in
see.
a couple of days slash
In a
week, I
week,
don't know,
maybe. I don't know. It has
in,
to be.
let's say in a week. This has been a crazy episode for us, since it's the first thing. So
Yeah.
apologies for
So
the randomness.
exactly. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would love your feedback as well.
Yes. If there's any feedback, just put in on the comments on YouTube, and on the podcast. On some podcasts, you can give us reviews on some podcast applications. If it's on Spotify, I don't think so. But on, I think, Apple Podcasts, you can put reviews. We'll see how it goes. This will definitely be on Spotify and on Google Podcasts, and we'll try the other platforms as well. So yeah, then let's end the episode here, and we'll get back with some other interesting stuff. And
Yeah.
if anyone has any interesting topics for us to discuss, you can put it in the comments as well. We'll put this into our discussions also. Okay then.
Right. Thank you,
So
guys. See
yeah,
you.
thank you for watching this episode. See you soon.